So I want to give a huge shout out to Samuel, gonna drop him right here, for giving me today's video topic. And like I said before, I actually said this in the video last Thursday or last Friday. What I want you guys to do, if you want me to answer any questions, touch on any certain topics, drop them down in the comment section down below. I respond to every single comment, and I just want to give you guys what you want. I actually, when I first got my license, even before I got my license, the first thing I did was I went to YouTube and I was like, what is the process? From a real estate agent point of view, like, what is the process of helping someone buy a home, even sell a home? What is the process? But hey, I'm going to give you guys the exact process, what I heard from my mentor, exactly what he told me, reading directly from the book, from the notes that I took down. But we're going to get into that right after today's video intro.
Hi guys, welcome to Martez Kelly's real estate channel. This is Martez Kelly, and welcome to the channel.
What's good, family? I'm Martez Kelly, and I want to thank you guys so much for tuning into today's video. Like I said before, man, drop the video ideas in the comment section down below. Before we get too deep into the video, please smash the like button on today's video. Subscribe to the channel. Let's actually get to 5,000 subscribers. And also, turn on the notification bell. But I'm going to keep giving you guys game, keep pouring into you. Just make sure you give me video ideas so I can make sure I'm giving you exactly what you want. But in today's video, if you've been on the channel for a while, you know I love to give you guys a content layout. But I was like, it's just the process of helping someone either buy a home or sell a home. So I don't need a content layout. I'm just gonna tell you guys exactly what the process is. And I think we're gonna start on the buyer side of things, just to keep it simple, because you actually have more to do with the buyer than you do on the seller side. But like I said, I'm about to grab my book now, and then we're gonna jump right into it. And this is my book. If you guys watch the day in the life vlogs, this is actually the book that my girlfriend bought me. And I'm not even gonna get into that story, but go watch the day in the life vlogs. I actually created a playlist, so go watch those whenever you finish with this video. But so the buyer process, this is, like I said, this is the one we have to do the most. Unless you get the lead in, the first thing you want them to do is actually get in contact with you. So if you got the lead and you're like, hey, they're like, hey, I want to buy a house. What is the entire process? The first step is out of the way. They actually got in contact with you. The second thing is you actually want to get them in contact with your lender. So if you have a lender on your team or in your brokerage or whatever it is, you actually want to get them in contact with a lender. So one of the best case scenarios would be a buyer actually coming to you, say, hey, I'm ready to go. I want to buy a house. I want to move in real soon. I've already been pre-qualified. I can send you over the pre-approval letter, all of this stuff. Let's get started. That's one of the best situations, especially if they know exactly what they want. They've seen a house that they want to just move forward. That's the perfect situation. But let's just say you don't have a perfect situation. You get them in contact with a lender. They put them through the pre-approval process. Then boom, you get the pre-approval letter. What you actually want to do is get on the phone with them. And I am going to do like a full video on like a buyer's presentation, a seller's presentation. So please make sure you subscribe to the channel and be on the lookout for that to come real soon. But you actually want to get on the phone with them and say, hey, what is it that you want? What are you looking for in a house? Give me your dream scenario. Just letting them go off and off and off. And I actually have in my book, you know, I'm not going to show you because it has personal information on it, but I just get on the phone with people and I'm like, hey, tell me everything you want. And I sit there and I just write it down. Any particular area. You're getting all this information. So once you get off the phone, you can actually do the next part, which is actually pulling up all the homes that fit their criteria, that fits with them. Some of the stuff they don't say, but you pick up on, like, okay. Or one of the things that I feel like helped me a lot was actually asking, what is it that you like about your current house? What do you not like about your current house? What's something you wish you had? If you could take this, figuring out all of that stuff up front makes it a whole lot easier for you to actually go to the MLS and put something together for them. Then you want to get that list. Let's say if it's 15 homes you feel like they would really love, you want to get that list down to 6 or 7. Just breaking it down as breaking every house down. Like, I don't think they would want to pay the HOA fee, or I don't think they're too much into these houses. They're a lot closer to each other. Just breaking that list down. Then you actually send them, once you have 6 to 7 homes, you send it to them via email, text message, or even if you guys are meeting up in the office, you say, hey, these are the 6 or 7 homes that we got. Tell me which 3 would you like to see? So that's the next part. Which 3 of these homes would you like to see? Then you actually schedule the showings. You take them to see all 3 homes. What I like to tell my buyers, especially in today's market, is don't fall in love with anything you see. Make sure you nitpick the home, because I don't want you to fall in love with it, but if you were to fall in love with it, nitpick it. Let's see what's in there that you don't like, because I call that negotiation bullets. I can actually take that back and say, hey, also speaking with my inspector, like, when you go there, check out this is something that brought up some concern to me. So you go into this process, and then you can say, hey, negotiation bullets, we saw this, we saw this, we saw this. We don't want to pay that price. We were thinking somewhere around this price. Or we think we should get a credit at the closing table because of this, and this. And that has actually helped in my favor. One time we got I think it was a $1,000 credit for flooring or something like that. Once you get that, they go to a home. This is like, at this point, we're going to call it the perfect situation. They say, man, I really love house 1. I really love house 2. Whichever house they choose, you say, okay, at this point, you're going to go ahead and write an offer and submit the offer. And the offer, I didn't know. I was like, so is it a special document that I fill out? That's quote unquote an offer. An offer is nothing more than filling out a contract to purchase the home. You fill out that contract, you send it to the agent. What I like to do is actually call the agent, say, hey, I'm actually submitting an offer on your property. You should be seeing it within the next few minutes or so. Do you guys have any offers on the table? And they say no. You want to hurry up and get it out, especially in today's market. Hurry up and get it out. So once you submit the offer, let's say they say, okay, we like what you guys did. Let's say they might come back and renegotiate. They say, hey, we like this, but we don't like this. Would you guys be willing to do this? And then you guys are in that negotiation part, and then you figure out what it is that you guys agree on. Once you guys agree, you submit it. The next thing you want to do after you guys are completely under contract is you actually want to go in and submit your EMD, your earnest money deposit. This is basically putting skin in the game, saying, regardless of what happened, I want to purchase your home. So I usually go for, in my market, this probably works, may not work in your market, but anywhere from $500 to $1,000. What my mentor told me, he said, make sure you tell the agent my clients are credit rich, but cash poor. And even if they aren't, if the seller's okay with you putting down $500 or $1,000, I heard in some situations they actually want you to put 1% of the purchase price. It just depends on the agent, the seller, and the situation. The next thing after you submit your EMD, this is something that actually messed me up on a couple of my deals, and I'm just being completely transparent with you guys, is actually scheduling things to get done. Like scheduling the pest control, termite inspection. I mean, if your buyer wants to do that, scheduling the appraisal right away, scheduling the home inspection. I mean, I do that pretty good, but this is the thing that got me. Scheduling the survey, especially with buying a home with FHA loan. Scheduling the survey is something that got me and slowed me down a lot, because in our area, all of the survey companies were swamped, and it was like 3 weeks out, 4 weeks out. So go ahead and do that right away, so everything lines up perfectly with your closing date. So after everything is scheduled, you actually want to go over the report. So the inspection report, once you get that back, go over the report with your buyer and say, hey, nothing came up as a major concern, even though the appraisal report will actually include some things, but they nitpick everything. You say, hey, nothing is a major concern, or if there is something that's a major concern, you say, yeah, they actually need to go in and fix the wiring in the house because the insurance company actually won't insure the home with this. So that's another thing you guys want to think about, is once you get your inspection report back, you want to send the 4-point and win mitt to your insurance company, because they'll give you guys or send it to the buyer if they have an insurance company in mind already, so they can get an insurance quote back. And one of the things I like to do is get a couple of different people, a couple of different quotes, and they'll send it to them and let them choose. So once you did that, everything, if you have to submit a repair request, you submit the repair request and say, hey, can you guys fix this? We need these things fixed so we can close on the house. But if there's nothing that needs to be fixed, at that point, you're good. You're just waiting on the lender to actually go through the process and give you the okay, give you the clear to close. So after all this stuff is done, you get the clear to close from the seller or from the lender, say, hey, you guys are good to close. You can close on the date that you guys were scheduled to close. At that point, you just closed your first transaction on the buyer side. And like I said, that is a lot. That's, you have to push a lot of that stuff through, because you don't really have to, on that buyer side, you don't want to put too much of that pressure on the buyer. That's what you are there for, to just take in all that pressure and make sure everything is smooth and easy for them. So with the buyer side out of the way, let's go ahead and jump into the seller side. So on the seller side of things, it's a whole lot easier. One reason being because you don't have to do much. Most of your work is done on the front end, and then on the back end, it's just smooth selling for you. So you grind, you finally find a seller who is willing to let you go on a listing or bring you in on a listing appointment. I actually have never been on a listing appointment where I was competing with other agents. Most of my stuff has been, granted, I've only had 2 listings. I'm working on one now. Hopefully I can get it listed. But I haven't never had to compete with other agents. So you go in, you do your whole listing presentation, and like I said, I will have videos on the listing presentation coming up soon, so make sure you subscribe. But man, when you get the listing under contract, the first thing, well, I mean, obviously you got to negotiate prices, making sure you guys are at the perfect price for, I mean, I would say perfect price for you and her, or the seller. Once you guys got it under contract, the next thing you want to do, which is the most important thing, is market the property. And it may seem easy now. I have not been a real estate agent before these times, but like I said, I was a wholesaler, so I know how tough it can be to get that property out. But once you have that property out, you just push it out. Put it in front of as many people as possible. If you have an email list, submit it out via email. If it's a big listing that could pay well, you may want to do social media marketing as well to the people in the area, and also people from out of state, so they can see that listing, because in Florida, it's crazy. A lot of our buyers are actually coming in from out of state. So once you market that property, let's say you want to host a couple open houses. That's a part of the process as well. You're just hustling on the front end, not really having to do much, especially in today's market. You can just sit back and wait on a phone call, and you get a contract in, or multiple contracts in. You look them over. You say to the seller, hey, we actually got a whole bunch of we actually got a whole lot of contracts in, or a lot of offers in. When do you have time to actually sit down and go over? Whether you guys, like I said, in the office, you guys get together and look over, or you guys do it over Zoom. You just share your screen and let them see the offers. You point out the things that are different and say which one you would go to. If you got a lot, one of the things you could do is also saying to every agent, hey, we're in a multiple offer situation. If you guys can do me a huge favor, just submit your highest and best. Give you guys 24 hours, and 24 hours the seller make a decision based off the best offer available. So with that being the case, you guys, you're just waiting for the best offer to come in, and not so much on price, because terms can help as well. You can have a huge price, but if they're paying with a loan, they're probably gonna have to pay the difference up front, and you have to judge whether the person can do that or not. Or some people may say we can close in a week. Some people may need 90 days to close. You just got to sit down with your seller and determine what is the best deal for you guys. Once you guys accept the offer, you take it to the title officer, either your choice or the buyer's choice. And as the listing agent, you just wait. You take all the calls. If anything messes up, you just relay the message to the seller. You guys make a decision, get back to them. But on the selling side of things, it's actually cake. This is primarily where I want majority of my business to be from, but I just don't have the time to make that the case, man. Just pouring into the seller side of things, because you actually get leads from being a selling agent. And for me, I had one listing that was canceled, but I got a buyer from that listing, which I actually closed on recently. So it just works. But that is the entire process of how you can get one from the buyer's transaction all the way to close, from the seller transaction all the way to close. And also, yeah, man, There's not much more for me to say. I'm not gonna drag this video in on any longer, but do me a huge favor, smash the like button on today's video, subscribe to the channel, and also turn on the notification bell. Like I said, let's take the channel to 5,000 subscribers. Not much more for me to say, but click right here to subscribe and click right here to watch our next video.